Hey guys, Essence of Mohana here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a tutorial for you of this animated avocado in Adobe Illustrator. It's going to be a lot of fun, so stay tuned after the intro. So guys, I am kicking off the artwork with the ellipse tool and the direct selection tool in order to get the shape of the avocado correctly. So as you can see, I'm adjusting the corners so that we could get that curvy outer bottom and that's little tiny slanted top right up there. Now I'm just going to increase the stroke weight so you guys could just see the outline. And I'm going to make a copy because we're going to need two layers, top and bottom. For the back color, you're going to have like the skin, and the inner color, as you know, for the avocado, it's going to be a little bit lighter. I'm just going to use the ellipse tool again and create the seed and just make some adjustments going further. So we're going to get going with the ellipse tool again, going in with the facial features. We're going to do some duplications just to get the eyeball placements in as well. So stay tuned for the rest of the tutorial to see how we get all of these combinations together working as one unit. Now we're moving on to other features of the body like the legs. As I said, we're going to be using the ellipse tool a lot because it really simplifies the process. I could have simply used the per se the pen tool and created these shapes, but if you're able to use like already made shapes like the ellipse tool and just use the direct selection tool and move the anchor points a bit to reflect what you're looking for, you could avoid the pen tool completely if it's possible. So in the meantime, we'll be making some adjustments, as you could see, just so we could get the right fit. So everything just looks perfect together. Also gonna be adjusting the shape of the seed as well. Like at first I started with a simple round circle, but after close consideration, I decided to just give it a unique shape instead of just making it look like a all flat circle. So we're using the ellipse tool again and we're rotating that area because I will be doing the arm right there, and I'm using the direct selection tool, as you could see, to create the formation that I want with the hands. I'm not very particular in how I want the hands to look. I just want it to be as similar as the feet, so I'm not worried about it too much. So as you could see, when I draw one object, especially if it's going to be the same exact thing, what I try to do is I try to copy, paste, and then I rotate and reflect 90-degree over to the other side instead of drawing two circles and then have to adjust the shapes all over again. It saves you a lot of time. So now we're moving into drawing the clothing, which is the very fun part that I like. So as you could see, now we're using the pen tool. And the reason why I'm using the pen tools for this is because the clothing is a bit unique and the shapes that I want to create has to be drawn with the pen tool. So I have no choice. I have to use a pen tool. But I have great skill with the pen tools, so I don't stress a lot when I use it. So, I understand that the pen tool can be stressful for a lot of you guys, but as I said in my previous videos, if you have watched my tutorials before, the pen tool mastery of the pen tool comes with daily practice, because I was never this good at one point. I had to practice on my own drawings, and even some images that you could find on Google. You just practice until you could get the formation of using the pen tool correctly in your own drawings. So guys, with that being said, I will continue to demonstrate how I drew the clothing on this beautiful avocado drawing right here. So stay tuned for the rest of the video so you could see the tutorial in full. Okay guys, so now that I've successfully finished doing the clothing, I'm heading over to the stroke panel and I'm choosing with profile 1 in order to give my outline of my sketch to make it appear as if it was drawn with a pencil. As you could see, instead of just a pen tool where the lines are sharp and hard, with this it looks more flowy and natural. So I really like this particular look for sketches. So guys, we have finally made it to my favorite part of the video, is when we always have to do the coloring, right? It's the best part, you can't deny it. The stressful part is always the sketches. Once you get the sketches out the way, we could start coloring and adding our shadows and highlights and all that beautiful stuff, correct? Okay, so for the rest of this video, that's what you'll be seeing. We will be doing the color combinations for the avocado, some shadows and highlights, so stay tuned, pay attention, and see if you could get some value from what I'm showing you here today. Okay guys, so we've gotten a great deal done so far. We got the clothing, the color combinations for the avocado, which is perfect. So now I just wanted to add a little shadow and some highlights on there. And I wanted to place the shadow on the left side of the body because further along in the video I will be drawing a having the avocado sit on a bench as you saw in the beginning of the video, and with a light pose. So I wanted the light reflection to be on the left instead of the right. So right now I'm just using my pen tool and going over the outer layers, the outer edges of the drawing so that I could add a shadow layer on top. And I will be heading over to my appearance panel shortly, and I will be doing a overlay instead of, creating a dark shadow on top and then changing the opacity. When you place an overlay on there, it makes it blend with the artwork much better. Then lowering the opacity, which kind of dims the original color underneath, and you don't want that. I wouldn't advise of that. So always choose to do an overlay, and you will see me demonstrating this shortly. Okay guys, so right here basically wrapping up the clothing details and designs that I placed on the avocado, and I'm just making sure that everything is intact in the way that I want it to look and make sure everything coordinates together. After this, we will be moving on to creating the bench and the light posts. It's pretty easy. We'll be using a few tools, especially the pen tool. So I don't want you guys to be intimidated, but just stay tuned, pay attention, and shortly after this, we'll get started on the bench and the light posts, and we will be completing this tutorial shortly. Okay guys, so to make it easier on ourselves, we're starting off the base of our bench by using the rectangle tool instead of using the pen tool to create a rectangular shape. The easier the better, right? So we're going to grab the pen tool and you're going to create two lines. You're going to make a copy and you're going to drag one over to the right side as so. Now we're going to resize it, and we're going to resize it above the first rectangle drawing that we did. After that, I'm grabbing my width tool because I want to widen the outer top points. So I'm going to click that anchor point and I'm going to widen it like so. So it's kind of look like a upside down arrow per se. Afterwards, I'm going to grab my direct selection tool. I'm going to select the bottom portion of the bottom rectangle and I'm going to pull that outward because we're trying to get the formation of the bench. I'm going to pull the top part inward into those two points that we drew earlier. Then I'm going to grab my selection tool and I'm going to I'm going to make the bottom rectangle smaller because we want it to have like a seating position as if you could sit on it. After that, we're going to just use the rectangular tool again to make it easier on ourselves and add the legs. Make sure that the legs are in front of each other like so. Like one is slightly behind while the other is slightly in the front. It's going to basically give the illusion, as you're seeing right now, that it's an actual bench, as you could see. If you do it any other way, the legs are not going to look right. You're going to notice the difference. Okay, so after that, we're going to grab the direct selection tool. I'm going to click the small little circles in the center right there on the edges, and I'm going to pull that inward because I wanted the top portion of the bench to have like a round shape. The bottom is fine, it could be sharp, but I just wanted that unique look. I'm just going to resize it so that the bottom and the top is not too off proportion wise. Now we're going to draw a few rectangles across the top shape because what I want to do is I want to create like a see-through area for the bench. It's almost as if you have seen a wooden bench before, and the portion that you rest your back on, like when you're sitting, it's not just like solid. It has like those little, see-through little rectangles going across it. So that's basically what I'm trying to replicate here. And I'm using my shape builder tool to delete the actual shapes instead of using the pathfinder. I'm sure it probably would be easy to use a pathfinder, but right now we're rolling with the shape builder tool. And after that, we're just going to go in and delete all the shapes like so. And there we have it. the perfect see-through little bench. I'm just gonna go to object, arrange, and I'm gonna send those two little sticks in the back so that these could come to the front. There we have our bench. Now let's move on to the light post. We're going to be using the pen tool for this one. So in order to get that perfect straight line, just hold shift on your keyboard and you could get that straight line going all the way at the top. Or you could just do it however, it doesn't matter. You could still go in and correct it if you like. But just to keep it simple and easy, just use the shift key and get your lines perfect at the start, and we could just move on, to finishing up the rest of the drawing. So I'm just drawing a base for the lamppost, pretty easy, just a simple square. And then I use the direct selection tool and pull the anchor points in so I could get like a triangle. Perfect. I'm loving it so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this tutorial. This was pretty fun for me to do. A little secret here, whenever I do these tutorials, I always create 2 drawings first because I always try to get everything right, and then once I get it right, I go over and then I redraw it again for the tutorial. It sounds kind of crazy, but it actually increases my skill as an artist. And it's repetitive, but sometimes when I do my first sketch, it doesn't look right at first, and then when I do the second one for the tutorial, it actually comes out perfect. So that's just my thing. So basically right now I'm adding the lights, as you can see, the lights for the lamppost. So this particular rectangle that you're seeing, this particular rectangle shape, I'm just going to go to object, arrange, and send it back so that the color portion is not directly above the lamppost outline, it's behind it. So I'm also duplicating the rectangular light color because I want a yellow at the back and like a luminous light at the front, so it doesn't look solid yellow or solid white. And I'll reduce the opacity to about, say, 25% just to get that effect, as you could see here. And now I'm adding in some shadows underneath the bench because once the light is casted, you're going to get a shadow. And along the rest of this video, we're going to have our cute little avocado sitting on the bench. So we wanted to have like a little shadow of him sitting on the bench and his little feet dangling. Just to give the artwork some, what do they call it? Pizzazz. So right here I was just basically playing around to see, do I want the shadow to go all the way right here? Or sometimes you never really know until you try, and I wasn't satisfied with it, so I ended up putting it back, bloop, right back in the area. And we're going to just lower the opacity on that to about 25%. We don't want it to be too dark. Now we're adding in the little guy. And I ended up having to resize him because he's a little bit bigger than the bench, as you could see. We're just gonna pop him right in there. Wow, that just looks amazing. I know you can see that he's still a little bit taller than the lamppost, so we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna just resize the lamppost upward a bit. I did not hold the shift key down. I made it like a loose resize because if you held the shift key down while you did that, it would just make it widen instead of it making it like tall and extended. So there we go. I'm satisfied with that length. And because I had to resize him, a few of these strokes actually got bigger. So I'm currently just resizing the strokes, as you could see, and playing with it a little bit, just so I could see if I wanted the light post to be a little bit thicker. and I decided I wasn't going to roll with that. So we're just going to keep it at that level of thickness as you're seeing right now. We're going to add a little mini circle under there, just to represent his round shape. This drawing is adorable. I am really satisfied with this drawing. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.